Hi everyone, welcome back. It is Tuesday, Tuesday the 27th of September, and I'm here today to bring you an October energy report, with also some grid updates. So I just like to discuss a few things that I have been working on lately and areas that I'm being taken into to do cleanup. Because maybe you might have found this kind of information coming your way yourself, or you may have found some resonance with some of the symbolism that have been coming forward lately. So yeah, it's nice to kind of share these things with you all, and see where we're all kind of connecting in from different locations of the quantum fields. So yeah, so welcome back everyone. And I know this is the 27th, but I'm just going to run through some events that I'll be doing this month to come. We've got some really cool ones coming in. So the first is our Self-Care Monday on the 3rd of October at 6 p.m. This event is completely free. There is a link below to RSVP on the website. So yeah, you'll be welcome to come and join us there for a group calibration where we focus on healing and activation. Full field work going on there. Okay, the second event on my website is the 1010 Gateway, Monday the 10th of October at 6 p.m. And this will be a full field calibration targeted, working with the energies of the 1010 Gateway. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting some stuff coming in here. I'm seeing this gateway being quite important because it's a 1010. So finding balance through the 0 point and then the 2022. So we've got 1010, 2022. That's not at the border. Okay, right. So it is all the twos. They're saying adding all of these numbers together. You've got the 2 in the 1 and the 1 matching together. 2, 2, 2. We're getting to an 8 as well. So with all of these dates, we are moving into end times. So like an opening into the final chapter, if you will. So that's quite interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah. So if there's any more information on that comes through, I will do a video on that before the event. Though I am quite busy this month already. But I will do my best, and I will probably do an update on my Telegram channel, which I'll leave linked below. There was an update through about the equinox that I did on there as well. So yeah, I will post these kind of things in to these to that group because it's a good way for me to kind of communicate quickly. So yeah, it's nice to have some chats, and I also post some things from other teachers. There's one called Gigi Young who I came across recently, who I just adore. She's got such amazing energy, and I haven't really listened to her stuff before, but it's very technical, but she makes it easy to understand. And her word is very authentic. Her energy is very authentic. It's really, really nice, and not too complex. So yeah, real nice teaching. Okay, so the third one I'm really excited about, for Monday the 24th at 7 p.m. With my very good friend Allison, my hypnotherapist. We will be doing a chakra cleanse together. So she will be bringing us into a state of regression, and I will be doing the chakra cleanse together. And we're going to take it from the root and go up as far as we can, and just see what kind of comes up there. So the aim is to get to 12, but we shall see. We'll see how it goes. You can never really plan these things, as spirit usually guides the way and does what needs to be done. So this is open for all. It is going to run for about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. And what you will need is a set of headphones, a comfortable place to lie down, and maybe a blanket, comfy clothes. But it will be a really fun experience, I think, to get all this kind of stuff out and moving forwards into a prepared state, let's say, a prepared state for what is to come. And also ultimately leading up towards the solstice as well, the winter solstice. Really excited about this date. There's a lot going to go on around that point, and I feel like a lot of people are going to be coming into real empowered in their ascension, and really grasping and understanding what they're doing. They know where they're going, they know what they're doing, and they know exactly how to do it. So yeah, so those are my 3 online events coming through October. Like I said, I will leave links below for people to sign up to, and all are welcome. It will be really great to have you there. And next, just quickly touching base on some in-person events as well. The first one I kind of decided at the weekend, because I was working at the I was working in Manchester at the White Lights event that weekend, just gone, and it was just wonderful. It went so well. So many lovely people turned up and listened to the talks, and you know, there was this one really amazing vegan pastry chef as well. Oh my god, it was so good. So he did like all these vegan cakes, and I ate loads. It was disgraceful, but I loved it. So I'm going to hold no guilt there. So this weekend on the 1st and 2nd of October, I'll be at Beverly Health and Healing Festival, doing in-person sessions on that day. And that is... You can find all the information on this. It will be at the Beverly Racecourse. You can find all the information on this in www.healthhealingfestivals.co.uk. And the next event is also a health healing festival at Chester, on the border to Wales. That will be on the 22nd and the 23rd of October. And then the third one, let me just get a flyer, is in Nantwich. Is in Nantwich on the 29th and the 30th of October, where I'll be doing in-person sessions, and I will be doing a talk, I believe, on both days. Unless I can downsize it to one day. So we'll see. But yeah, so those are the in-person events, and the last one, the Stockport one, at the Masonic Hall, I'm going to talk about in a second. It was a really great event. So as we move into the kind of grid work portion of this update now, it's been a very, very interesting kind of month for grid work and for healing and for all kinds of energy work, to be honest. So from August 26th, I think it was, I was doing the Gay Pride March with my friends LGBTQ wellness. And this was really interesting because I've never done a march before. I've never really felt the need to go and do one of these kind of things. I don't really feel like I need to splash it around. There's nothing wrong with that. If people feel like they would like to, that's great. I mean, it's all people expressing their free will and expressing themselves. Is such a beautiful thing to kind of see and experience. And this was interesting because like I said, I've never done one of these walks before. And as we were walking down, what I was seeing, there was like a grey line running through the sky, like a grey grid pattern mesh that had been overlaying through the sky and connecting to this parade, which I thought was very weird at first and interesting. Because as we started to march, what I was seeing was the frequency of gold coming up, gold and pink coming up and merging into this location, into the air, but also running through the inner earth, so running through like the dragon lines. And what I could see with this was essentially the breaking down of distortion through the distorted masculine, distorted feminine bodies, the trauma bodies. They're showing me more things here as well. And what it looked like was a complete dissolution of trauma that was encapsulated through this particular grid network. So as we walked, I was feeling this really intense stream of energy coming through me. And it's like all of these people around me, I was like, oh my God, what have I got myself in for? Because it was just so intense and there was just so much gayness everywhere. It was so great. It was so much fun. Like my friend was cartwheeling all the way along and there was another one doing yoga poses. It was really funny. And just such a nice environment. Because I know that there are many kind of agendas being pushed at the moment, but this is what I feel was what was being broken down. It was the initial basis of these agendas kind of being broken down. So I want to say the woke agenda, enmeshment was deconstructing. So this was very interesting to me because I hold no judgment to however people decide to play their cards. I do not think it's right when opinions and judgments are being pushed onto people without them knowing the full story. I feel this as a form of manipulation, as mind control. And then when it gets blown out of hand, it gets blown out of hand and essentially we're all forced into one narrow way of thinking. So it is essentially a mind control program that if you don't agree with me, then you are toxic. That's the kind of agenda with it. So if you're toxic, you must be cancelled. You can't express an opinion that's different from mine, unless it must be ultra like acceptance, if that makes sense. When it's like people, I feel that people should be given the perspectives from all sides and not have shame and guilt shoved in their faces to accept this. Now, this is me coming as a gay man, like saying this doesn't feel right, it doesn't feel accurate. So anyway, I digress. So as I was kind of working through that and moving through this kind of parade thing, this is what I was seeing was breaking down through the grids, and the grid enmeshment was in the sky. And I also feel like the inner earth grids, the mother dragon lines, were also connecting in with this to kind of play a part in disassembling, but at the same time bringing that core mother love back in to align through through the individuals who are marching with pride and with integrity, and balancing up into that. I'm going to call it a black magic grid because that's exactly what it is. A distortion. And you know, bringing that balance of the true feminine back into that enmeshment. So yeah, so that was the first interesting piece. I think I talked about this last month. I don't really remember. There's been so much that's gone on this month that, I mean, I don't even remember what color socks I was wearing yesterday, if I was even wearing socks at all. So yeah, so all of this was kind of breaking down. So this is like the first step of where we're going to get to with this grid update, because it was really interesting to me. The second place on the 3rd and 4th of September was this health and healing event that I was really guided to do back in, I think I signed up for it in like June or July, and it just felt so right, it felt so great. And then a few days before I was thinking, shit, I completely forgot this is a Masonic hall. And I kind of almost started to freak out a little bit. I was thinking, oh my God, why am I going here? Why am I going here? And they were just like, just relax. You're being guided to go here for a purpose, for a reason. Please remember to bring your holy oil. I was like, okay, well, that's a bit strange. A bit of a strange request, but I just kept on seeing this holy oil. So I took it with me and got to the hotel, and then arrived, and then told to put the holy oil on my shoes. So as I got to the front door, the intention for the holy oil, I just want to add in here as well, is any holy oil that's worn on the feet or on the shoes and walked across the land, it reclaims that land for the light. So that's the key there. It reclaims the land for the light. So when I got there, I was looking for the entrance. I'd walked right at the front door and couldn't get in. And then realized it was around the back. So I'd walked all the way across the front, all the way around the whole perimeter of the building, and then onto site with this oil on my feet. I came in, set up, everything up, and then again guided to put more holy oil on my feet. So I did, and then I was taken around the different rooms, which was an interesting experience. There were a lot of paintings of children downstairs, so I'll put that out there. And there were some paintings that weren't as not uncomfortable, but they weren't comfortable. So yeah, there was that element going on as I was kind of walking through these places. And then as I got into the main hall, I'd gone through all of these different rooms, and I was guided to go upstairs, and I will insert pictures here. There's one room with a checkerboard tile, checkerboard mutations. Now, I put the oil on my shoes and I walked anti-clockwise around this tile and then straight through the center, from the front to the back of the room where the door was. And this location was like a prayer room. It was something like that. The windows were all covered over. The it was very vapid of emotion. And when I had came out of that room, I just carried on doing the healings that I had to do when I was there. So it was very interesting. The whole amount of people that were in there, bringing in all their crystals, all of their bits and bobs, doing all of their healings, their readings. It was really raising the vibration of the structure. So moving on from that, the next day, one of the other stalls, they sell shungite, came up to me and showed me a picture, which I will include because I took a picture of his picture, of the room that I had gone into the day before. And on the main chair at the front of the room, which had subsequently been removed the next day when we went back up to look because I wanted to see it again, there was help scratched into the back of it. That was really disturbing because we kind of understand and know what has been going on with these people and what's been going on with our little ones. So yeah, that was quite disturbing to see. But by the end of it, it felt really good. The place was gridded. And it was almost like when I was working through there as well, I had gone back in afterwards. I think it was on the Sunday night, just to double check remotely that this place was okay. And what I had encountered there, as remote viewing through the building, I found myself stuck on top of this black and white checkerboard mutation in the fields. Now, that was really disturbing to me because I did get all of my energy off there, but thinking about the amount of people that have walked through that location and every other Masonic location with that checkerboard mutation in the physicality, how it works is like a kind of trap for the consciousness, I'm going to say. It felt like quicksand or like sticky tar and unable to move the feet from it. So that was really interesting, just in those locations. Now, if I'm to go into the fields and see the black and white checkerboard, which is a very common thing to see in people's holographic fields, it is a collective distortion. My good friend Indy, the healer Indy, Indigo Angel, she talks a lot about this, and she is an expert on this kind of stuff. The checkerboard mutations, they host as a kind of I want to say a primal behavioral pattern that gets stuck through the energy fields. And when I've really dived into this, it opens up as a black-white threshold with a kind of violent rage mentality to it, which is devoid of all color. So it's just either this or that. There is no in between. There is no reasoning. So it is a case of really kind of working it out and really pulling it out. Now it's funny, I can just see in the sky at the moment. Just a few seconds ago, I saw a fetus, like a baby fetus, and now I'm seeing a swan with its head curved behind, digging its beak into its feathers. So I feel like we're kind of pushing a lot of stuff out today, and getting some good validation here too. Particularly around that divine masculine, divine feminine information. Yes, ma teraz na usus mo ukupura. No, ja teraz nie. Okay, so that was what was going on through these grid locations, also with the Masonic location as well. As when I remoted back in afterwards to double check, what I was seeing was big soul release from these tiles. I was seeing the internal structures lifting and kind of reorienting themselves or restructuring themselves into a way to hold a different frequency band, which is really great because that's kind of coming where the oil was playing into it, I feel. So yeah, it was really good. So the next thing that feeds back into this wokeism agenda, this media manipulation kind of scenario, was coming through. This is at just after that Masonic location. I was taken to Fiji through the Pacific, and what I found coming from underneath Fiji was from an underground base, and this was where one of the hubs, or the hub, it was the hub of the media manipulation agenda beneath the volcano, I believe. If there's a volcano there, it was a big mountain that I saw. I don't know if there is a volcano in Fiji, but I'll just go with it anyway. Basically, what I saw was like a base underneath this location, and they were amplifying these kind of media manipulation distortions out into the field, and it was merging through over and through Mesopotamia. And what is looking like it's kind of trying to or it was merging and trying to weave its way through the Archangel Michael ley line. Going through the Mesopotamian grids, and very much through the whole CERN locations as well, how this is all kind of implemented. So this is very interesting to me because it seems to be coming from different locations, but my primary focus here is through Fiji at this time. And again, with this media manipulation, this being big pushed agendas coming through the TV, I'm seeing a lot of this breaking down, deconstructing as I'm working through it, which is really great. It's interesting. I'm not entirely sure of the timelines and agendas as to how this is all going to work, but this point will also feed into the energy update for October. So just hold tight, guys. We are getting there. Yeah, so essentially I'm seeing like all these distortions coming through Fiji and then expanding through the Archangel Michael ley line and going through the Sun location. So yeah, so at the same time as I'm seeing this coming through, I'm also seeing it breaking down as I'm bringing my attention to it. I'm seeing the reconstruction and the dissolution of these kind of grid mesh distortions, which is then going to just move us into the energy update for October. So opening scene here, I was shown a village. Let me just try and release some of this energy that's off my chest at the moment. So I was shown a village. What this felt like was the UK, but it felt more so like the UK in this particular scene. But I wouldn't be opposed to saying that this could run through Paris as well, and run through the capital city locations of Europe. And even into United States. Okay, so as I'm looking at this village, what I'm seeing coming in, if I was on the ground in this village, this big grassy plain, I'm seeing storm clouds coming in. But what I'm also seeing through the storm clouds are world leaders or the overlords. We can call them without pointing any fingers. And as they're coming in, this storm that's coming is bringing the feelings of being pushed up against a wall, really like having no way to kind of turn, which is having a direct impact on the villagers, obviously. So this is really interesting because what I'm seeing is a whole massive shift in dynamics between the villagers. The villagers, there's one portion of them that's waking up and they are terrified. There's another portion of them who has already kind of understood a little bit of what's going on and they're mad. So they're standing up and starting to revolt. And then there's others who have known what's been going on for a while, and they've done all the revolting, but now they're claiming back their empowerment. So there's three kind of typical kind of emotional standpoints going on here. So we've got a wake up agenda. There's a big wake up theme for many. There is a revolution energy coming in, and there is empowerment and leadership, I would say. Yes, right. So as all of this is coming in, these government leaders are essentially blowing the storm into place. So it's like, it's all heavily manufactured. Most of us know this already, but I feel like this is really coming forwards now and bringing its attention to the front. So it's an interesting time through October where I feel many people are going to be shifting from a state of stagnation, which they've become very well trained in. I say stagnation, they've become very well trained in what they've learned so far, enough for them to move forwards. Now, this is the next step in the Lightworker movement, in the awakening movement. It is the next step in empowerment. It's the next step in sovereignty. And it's also, for many, it's the next step in realizing the levels of fear that they're holding. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of kind of realizations. There'll be many people that are going to find this time really, really tough, which brings me on to like the next set of images I was shown is the ones who are kind of coming into the revolutionary energy are in a way becoming a rainbow bridge for the ones who have just woken up. To guide them into kind of feeling their anger, to feeling and expressing themselves in a state of disgust or in a state of anger and a, you know, a shock to the system and a realization. Now, this is very interesting because what I'm being shown right now is the villagers who have been doing this for a while, and they're now moving into their leadership position. So it's like training the next lot of people coming in, and the leadership people are now kind of holding space, I would say, holding space for the rest. So this all plays in the growth and development. And as all of this is playing out, I'm looking from a bird's eye view right now, and I can see these rainbow bridges connecting from people to people, person to person even. And as I'm looking to this, what I can see is the flower of life geometry, but coming through in rainbow arcs connecting person to person. Okay, so everybody's having their part to play and building into this beautiful harmonized flower of life geometry, if that makes sense. So everybody could be seen as the seed within the pip of the flower, and then the arcs are coming between that. So that's a really nice kind of image to show unification. So it's another step forwards into the field of unification, and how we are kind of merging and blending our ideation and understanding to come back as a unified force, a unified front, to reclaim what is ours and reclaim the land and help the people, the next step, come forward with no judgment, no fear, empowerment and sovereignty. So it's recognizing what is actually yours and how to kind of get it back. So this is all an interesting kind of month of solidarity, I feel, and really helping one another kind of stand forward and empower themselves. So yeah, so that was the first image or scene that I saw here. The next thing that came forwards is just an expansion on that rainbow bridge, is the lamb becomes the shepherd becomes the field owner, let's say. You know, and I feel like this is a big step forward, a level up in growth. Many people helping the next wave of awakenings, so they can kind of come into their own power as well. And the shepherds are also becoming the master, moving onto different flocks, moving into different positions on the chessboard, or swapping identities on the chessboard to learn new skills, let's say. I feel like that's very important to kind of take on board here. So we're learning new skills, but why are we learning these new skills? What is it that we're taking forward from here? And where are we going next? I think these are some of the questions that I'm asking myself, to kind of really integrate and understand what it is that I'm doing and where we're all going with this together, because I feel the SHIT is about to get real. Not that it hasn't been already, but I really do feel over the next 6 months it's going to be coming to that finishing point, if sort of finishing point, but with dregs that will still carry on a little bit. You know, it's becoming more pronounced. That's probably a better way of putting it. Yeah. So, and with this whole change in dynamic and change in movement, I feel a lot of these activations that have been coming in and will continue to come in, because September and October is a month, and beyond, consistently more of these activations are coming in, these higher light codes coming in, to really power people up and get them opening to their fullest potential that they can hold. So when we understand this and we recognize that the knowledge is the power that helps us expand, we throw ourselves in at the deep end to really, really get in there and empower ourselves this way. So it is quite magical with these higher activations coming online and assisting these different waves and flows of awakening, guardian support, if you will. So yeah, interesting times ahead. So just I'm gonna pause there. And I feel very, very, very much aligned to share this kind of story at the moment. Something that I experienced on Saturday the 24th, I think it was Saturday, Sunday, because it was 3 o'clock in the morning. I've been waking up every night at like 3 o'clock in the morning for the past maybe 6-7 nights from Saturday prior. A lot of the information comes in at that time. A lot of the activations come on at that time. A lot of this kind of real intense work is flowing through at that time as well. So it's a very potent time. But this Saturday, Sunday morning was really weird. What happened to me was I woke up at 3:08 in the morning. So I was like, okay, fine. Checked my phone, had one email on there, put the phone down, got up and went to the loo. And then 2 minutes later, I was back in bed. I got back into bed and I rolled over and knocked my phone off the shelf. And when I went to pick it up, I looked at the phone and it was 3 minutes to 6. I was like, what the fuck? Sorry, what the hell? What's gone on? Like, this is so bizarre. I looked at the phone as well, and my emails, I'd got like 3 more emails. I'm like, I've literally just woken up and it was 3:08, and now I've gone to the loo and come back, and it was 5:57. I was like, this is just not right. So touching base on what I said last month about these time jumps and time lapses, this was the biggest time lapse I've ever experienced. And I just find it so bizarre. So I asked about this. Initially, I thought there was some kind of abduction that had gone on potentially. I was like, okay, I can deal with that. There still may have potentially, I don't know. But the focus point on this was like, when I asked about all of this, they'd have been explaining how intense these time lapses have been in the middles of the night. And also, I feel that there are more to come as well. So yeah, it was very, very interesting. So I thought I'd just throw that one out there as well. I wonder if you guys have been experiencing that. You can leave in the comments below. Have you experienced a time lapse of that caliber or any time lapses? It was really, really, really weird. So yeah, okay. Another thing that that has been coming up as well for September, October is really, really powerful, potent rebirths coming in. We're in a period of rebirth at the moment, and just coming out of it now with that baby in the sky. For myself, I've been having a really painful physical rebirth, and having to feel all of this energy that's coming off the area of pain, and diving into it and understanding what it's all about, and getting through that it's shrunk massively, but I was quite worried at one point. So yeah, if you do have like these kind of physical symptoms coming in, try not to stress too much about it, and just really identify what the emotions are that are holding you back, and what are the emotional patterns that you haven't really seen within yourself yet. I don't know what's going on with this screen light. Yeah, okay, so that's a couple of these energetic themes as well. So I asked again yesterday, I'm gonna find my notes here. See, I have my smart out of order. So when I asked again yesterday about these energy, the energetic themes that are coming up in October, what I saw was on the TV, in Vision, I saw Donald Trump on TV, and then on different channels I was seeing scenes of riots. I was getting pain in my head, and it felt, and I was also in the scene as well. The birds were very unsettled, and it felt very uneasy. I had very heavy pain in the right of my head as well, whilst receiving this information. And I feel like there'll be a very heavy ramping up of emotional distortion, media manipulation to I'm going to say to counteract when you heal something in yourself, and there's a lot of it that needs to be healed, you can remove the energy or transform the energy, and then you may get more coming in that fills that space immediately. If it's something that there is a lot of that needs to be cleared, so we're talking like lifetimes upon lifetimes of trauma, of this particular type of trauma or particular kind of emotion that's been enmeshed through the body, you will be triggered near enough instantly, or it will just start to fill up near enough instantly. And this is what I feel like is happening with this media manipulation grid release. So I feel what is happening with this, or will happen, is the media will up their fear-based programs, up their kind of agendas, which is going to either send you one way or the other. It's either going to send you into a state of, this is just ridiculous, I can't believe how much they're showing of this, and it will be exaggerated as well. I mean, look to CNN, it is absolute exaggeration, like town, or city or whatever. And it's really, really pushed in your face, and they expect people just to kind of absorb it and take it. Nah. So there'll be a big, big set of people that will wake up from that and realize this does not feel right. This does not look right. Something is not right with this. And then there'll be others who have gone through more trauma. They may be more older empathic types, or older sensitive types that just absorb this stuff and they take it on board, and they fall into that that emotional manipulation. you know, and into that fear game. So again, this ideation, what I feel with it is massive kind of cover up distortions for disclosure, really. And it's a don't look here, look there kind of scenario, like they normally do. Yeah, so interesting. One thing I have written down is October is a month, is a disclosure month. Dirty tactics used to win feels more like manipulations. And another thing that I've written down as well is overlords upping the pressure of security as a distraction to keep the mind locked into survival mode. So what I mean by that is, I was in trance when I wrote that as well, by the way. What I mean by that is real root chakra fragmentation work that they're going on to do. Really trying to knock all safety out of this location, of the collective root, and bring fear to the forefront. So you surrender. Right. And this is interesting as well. I feel like I should raise this. There were three cities, main cities, that came to mind. One of them being London, one of them being Paris, and another in Italy, but also Venice as well. So I feel these main cities should just be kind of cautious of. You see that solar flash that just came in there? Those flashes of codes. It's been happening quite throughout this session, I think. Yeah. So interesting kind of developments going on there. Right, okay. And I've also got written down, we will bring forward expanded knowledge as we film together tomorrow at 2 p.m. Well, we're doing it at 1 p.m., but they're still here, present. So nice. Okay. So there's some other just little areas that I've intuited as well, which is just kind of bullet pointing some of the things we've discussed today. So it's a time of really developing oneself and developing one's growth. Successful development between intuition and knowledge. This becomes a lot more profound, a lot more well recognized in oneself without having to put a label on it. Allowing yourself to flow with expansive thoughts and not to judge oneself and think, oh no, that's a bit ungrounded. You know, the encouragement there to broaden the mind is really, really flowing in through October. Being inspired by your feelings, real key point for navigation. Okay, the next sort of topic, strength in leadership and a willingness to take responsibility. So it's people really standing up for themselves and taking responsibility, not only for their own actions in the past, understanding them, processing them, letting them go, but taking responsibility for the people who are around you as well, looking to help all in that process. I also feel it's very important to say at the moment that taking that responsibility for oneself and understanding and maintaining healthy boundaries, working through strengthening your boundaries and not allowing any of this energetics to kind of come in and trample all over yours. You know, so it's kind of taking that kind of strength and building it within as well. So it's not seen as service to self, it would be seen as service to others, but building your own fields too. So when you tend to your own fields, you're able to help more people, and working from that kind of that basis. So you're knowing when enough is enough, but also assisting. Okay. Interesting one, turning intentions into reality. So this, the ideation of working with your manifestation, but really it's so much more. It's like when you get that solid crystallized idea coming in that feels really good, that you know needs to be done. It's working with your intention to really open that idea and bring it into the physical reality, crystallizing the physical manifestation here and present. And that takes a lot of kind of self-control and self-awareness, but this is all areas that are expanding and opening through October. It's an exploration of self, an exploration of what one can do and how you can maximize on this. How can you create stability in your life to open up these kind of structures and really harness them for what they're designed to do? And like I said already, this rebirthing topic and opening up to new prospects, to new self-discoveries, it's real key as well. So yeah, that was the energy report for October. And we will just run and do a short meditation, short clearing here, just to finish off. And it's been lovely chatting with you all again today. And I really hope to see you at Self-Care Monday or at one of the events. Be most welcome. And I would love to see you. Okay. So if you just want to place your hands facing up in your lap, whether you'll be sitting down or lying down, both is okay. And we can begin now by taking a deep breath in, breathing in gold through the golden lattice. The golden lattice of your field, and we're going to bring in the tones of indigo and of violet through the vertical channel, connecting from the great central sun to the diamond core. Expanding through the horizontal line. As an aqua spiral begins to build and expand through center core, opening the healing hands holding the tea light. And I can just see this tea light that is lit moving up to the apex. Of the vertical pillar and connecting in a diamond to overlay. Opening through the pink lotus at the base of your feet. Expanding and rotating this field progression. Sa'atadishmiya nai na akuram. Usna ahiyene sasme ishistya tarasma atanai. Releasing out all metal tones, all metal cages, all metal wings. Releasing off hybridized wings to revert back to organic orientation of the angelic template. Platinum light expansion through the angelic template wings. Sasmiya kadarishna asasma otapora. running corrections through the Merkaba field. The Merkaba illuminates in gold. And starting to get incredibly hot. Releasing dissatisfaction. Releasing ideation that things must look in a certain way. Releasing through the perception fields. Removing distortions through the oculus. And as we release through this field, removing all the glass down to the fires at the core of the earth, I begin to see the clouds that were grey through the oculus fields beginning to turn platinum. And as they turn platinum, the light from the sun shines through. I'm actually physically getting pain through my eyes here as well. Through the back of the neck, through the left side of the body. Expansion. Of the diamondic syllabus. And the diamondic syllabus being the teachings of the diamond tribes. Through the 11th dimensional sphere. The intergalactic gateway. updating through the caduceal joints and through the caduceus. Bringing that diamond light right the way down to the base, to the root. Into the sacrum, into the serpents. Releasing out negative inversions of the pentagram. Sasmia Tarashna Atapura. Sokyo Hokotosna Otapohunya na aye Tirashni Ismia Atarasna Ataponya Mo Oyatra. And running reversals on this geometry, this pentagram. Releasing out all fear. Masnia Trasna Atapoho Kotoroshno Otoponoi Ya Hiatres Nishmiasna Ataporoshno Otoponoi. Expansion through the root. I'm going to go ahead and update now through all levels, all layers of light, updating through all bodies, all fields, all locations. I feel such a lift from the heart here. And I just like to blend all of that lightness through the whole structure, from the divine feminine to the divine masculine. Nyasma ataparasniya kuram namo otia. Sahasma aikia hinya nanes miatra autopo honoya. Tishmiat nai yakiarasna atapoho konama otopo oia. Sadyasma atarasna atiam nama ahya nesmi ikiam nama ahya oponam. Tum porus no ostia tara ahom na ahia tishnya nai. Man hotaroshosos no ohokotopo no noia. Tones of ruby and aqua coming from the base to meet in the center of the heart, and the aqua coming from the heavens down. Sia nana aha tabatia tarashna asum mono otorasnia nai hiakiresnia temya ana nashma atiana smuutpuho no otoya si hatara ahiana anama ahiana. Nia krasna atapaha tarasna ayashna asasna ataparasna atapaya. Hanya ahakotoroshosos poon no oihia ai nia tres. Nesmi ea ka atara saas naya papayu ku toro. I'm just seeing that ruby and the aqua going into the light grid templates of the body and running through any areas of grey. any areas of metal. And I can just see them pop to release. So I will send you so much love, and I hope to see you at some point this month. And best of luck. I'll look forward to hearing from you. Drop a comment in below if you feel like, and give us a like and a subscribe too. Lots of love. Bye.